Hey everybody, it's Alika Lifty, and today let's brew our Decaf Colombia El Vergel as a filter offering. This is a lovely coffee from the Tolima region of Colombia. El Vergel, not Vergel, which I believe I said in like 6 videos ago. So, Vergel, learn and adapt. Yeah, I traditionally brew these coffees in our Kalita Wave in a 12-ounce recipe because that's what we do in our cafes, and it's what I do at home when I want a cup of decaf. This is really easy to work with. What we are going to do today is a 12-ounce Hario V60. So let's crank it out. I'm going to be using 25 grams of El Vergel and 400 grams of hot water. We'll talk about these specifics here in just a moment, but first things first, let's go ahead and wet this filter. Let that do its thing. Let it drip out. Thought I had a sneeze coming on, but I'm disciplined. There we go. 25 grams. This is ground more medium, so not quite medium coarse, although in different brew methods, slower brew methods, you may need medium coarse. Just like most decafs, this is really going to slow down in the later stages of our brewing process. So to counteract that slow finish to this recipe, we're going to be using cooler water. We're going to be using 200-degree Fahrenheit water. So normally we'd be using even up to 210 for a V60 recipe. Cooler temperature because this is going to be a longer brew time, and I don't want this to taste like a good cup of coffee plus some bitters. So 200-degree Fahrenheit water. I'm going to start my timer, and let's bloom. Spend a little bit of time there in the middle. Your water's going to cascade horizontally. Chase that. There we go, around 50 grams of hot water. Let this thing bloom for a total of 30 seconds. And then I'm going to punch this here in the middle and bring this up to 200 grams. So 30 seconds, I'm going to punch it in the middle. Trace this crust, so boom, punch it. Tracing the crust, pushing those grounds underneath, hitting the outside, working my way back to the middle. And this is where I'm going to live until I finish at the 200. Now, each consecutive pour is just going to be 100 grams total until I finish at 400, so I've only got 2 more pours left. Let this drip through. Here at about 1 minute and 10 seconds, I'm going to hit it again. And in these traditional recipes, our water shouldn't drip all the way through. I don't want that water to drip all the way through my brew bin. I want some headroom there from my water to my coffee. 9, 10, boom. Here, I'm just going to punch it here in the middle. Got some coffee there on the edge, but that's fine. I want it there. But that pulse should have brought it right back up to where that line of coffee was. If you were under, your grind is too coarse or you're not pouring heavy enough. And if you're just like stacking and stacking and stacking, then your grind is too fine or your flow rate is too light as well. All right, let's finish this off here at 150. Dunk it. I'm gonna give myself a spiral around the edge as well. Come back to the middle, that's where I live. There we go, 400 grams total. All right, decaf, it's pretty easy to brew. If it drains way too quickly, you know, a couple of these notes that I just gave you, then it's gonna be too tart. It's gonna taste like too tart apple with like unsweetened, less sweet dark chocolate. It's not awful, but that acidity is a little bit more overpowering. It's not a balanced cup, and your sweetness is not your long-lasting characteristic. It's not great. On the other side of things, this drains way too long. This dark chocolate becomes really overpowering. It becomes bitter. It begins to taste more like this coffee smells, which is just like roasted coffee. But when we are balanced, this is a really nice decaf coffee. Really proud of our green buying team. We've had a lot of really good decaffeinated Colombian coffees coming through. You know, we get a surprisingly complex decaf coffee. You're gonna get that dark chocolate. It's a Colombian coffee. You're gonna get some cocoa in there. We're gonna get some tart apple. So more malic acidity than we traditionally get. Usually I expect lemon from a Colombian coffee, but hey, I'm not gonna shake a stick at tart apple. And then we're going to get panela. So I love panela as a note. I think it's really fun. It is like a refined sugar cane. So think a blend of sugar cane and brown sugar. And then ripe plantain. That's the note listed. If you're not familiar with plantains, think a less sweet banana. Not unripe banana, but less sweet banana. All right, this should drain around 4 minutes, which is about a minute faster for this recipe in the V60 than I expect this recipe in a Kalita Wave, or our traditional Kalita Wave recipe. Any other way you choose to brew this coffee, taste it, think through these notes. Does what you're tasting sound like what I described as less extraction or more extraction, or are we balanced? You can brew this any way you want to. I brewed this in the V60, one, because it's faster, and I don't think you want to sit here and watch me brew a cup of coffee for an extra minute and a half of brew time in a different brewer. And also, because I really liked that acidity in this Colombia El Vergel, and the sweetness and everything it brought, I thought it was a nice balanced cup of coffee. All right, serve and enjoy.